Hi there folks, and welcome to the work solutions for this week's the Daily Rigour. This is issue 19. So in our first story we have from the health category that 4 in 10 children not going to the dentist. And this is a figure that the British Dental Association says is embarrassing. So there's 16,750,000 under 18s in England. How many of them did not visit the dentist last year? So essentially we've got to work out 40% of 16,750,000. So loads of ways we can find 40%. We can do it using the calculator method. We could do it by finding 2/5, but I'll look at the headline for a wee clue for the kind of easiest way. 4 in 10 children. So I can divide by 10 first of all to get 10%, and then I can multiply that 10% by 4, giving me an answer of 6,700,000 children not going to the dentist once a year. Wow. Right, okay, next article. So I sold 3 new fivers for £460 on eBay. So this was a story we broke to you all the way back in issue 2 of the Daily Rigour, where we told you that the Bank of England was starting to produce plastic £5 notes. So a collector has managed to sell 3 of these ones, which conveniently had consecutive serial numbers, for £460 in total. And of course we thank the Daily Rigour for originally bringing it to his attention, of course, when we got a wee quote off him earlier in the week. So we have to calculate his total profit first of all. So in part A, so to calculate his profit, we've got to take away the amount he spent and the amount that they sold them for. So he sold all of them for £460 combined. So he's paid £15 for those 3 fivers. So we've got to take away 15 to get a total profit of £445. So part B, a wee bit trickier. We have to express this profit as a percentage for what he paid for the £5 notes. So first of all, read the question, express this profit, well the profit is £445, and it tells us to express it as a percentage of what he paid. So we divide it by what he paid, which was 15, and this makes it a decimal, so to change to a percentage we multiply by 100, which would give us a wonderful percentage profit of 2,967% to the nearest percentage. You don't see percentages like that in anywhere else other than payday loans, so good for him, and maybe you should look out for some of these earlier £5 plastic notes to sell. Okay, so that brings us on to our second last story. Scandalous story, in fact, the gender pay to remain until 2069 based on the current rates of wage inflation. And accountancy firm Deloitte says the hourly pay gap between men and women is 9.4%. Wow. So if a man working for a company earns £10 per hour, what is this research claiming that a woman working for the same company will earn per hour? So essentially another percentage question. We're going to work out 9.4% of £10, and we can do that using the calculator method, where we divide by 100 to find 1% and times it by 9.4. So this gives us a value of 94 pence. So a woman earns 94 pence per hour less, which means that her hourly rate is going to be £10 take away that 94 pence, which is £9.06 per hour. For doing the same job, might we add? Scandalous. So in terms of the bonus question, how much more would a man earn for a standard 40-hour working week at these rates? So the male weekly pay, well, if he works 40 hours at £10 an hour for every hour, we'd multiply the 10 and the 40 together to get a weekly wage of £400. Similarly for a female, we're going to multiply by 40 her hourly rate, which is £9.06. So that's going to give her £392.40. So if we take them away from each other, so apologies, there was a wee typo there, 40 times £9.06 of course is £362.40. So how much more did the man earn? Well, we take these two amounts away from each other and we discover that a man earns £37.60 more per week. And when we look at these figures in the context of a week, that is a significant amount of money. Okay, so moving on to our last story. So Benjamina from the Great British Bake Off shared with us a formula for working out the layers of pastry, where it's L equals F plus 1 all to the power of T, where F is the number of folds and T is the number of turns. So how many layers would you get if you made 5 folds and 2 turns? So we're going to sub these values into the formula with 5 in place of F and 2 instead of T. So this gives us the layers would be 5 plus 1 all squared. So it's just a BODMAS question, order of operations. We do the sum inside the bracket first of all, 5 plus 1 which is 6, and then we're going to square that to get a final answer of 36 layers. So I hope you got that one right, and maybe you noticed or talking about it on the Great British Bake Off this week. But anyway, that concludes our work solutions for the Daily Rigour issue number 19. Hope you found that useful. Stay tuned for next week's issues. We'll be looking at next week's issue when we're going to be looking at some stories from the news and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.